Hey guys, this is Austin.
And Jon.
And welcome to another episode of the Meatgistics Podcast. We took a little bit of a break, but we are back on track hopefully now.
Oh, I've been back.
Oh, okay.
I've released some without you.
I took a little bit of a break. I've taken like multiple breaks.
You have taken multiple breaks. Well, I mean, you have a lot of other things going on here. First, before we get anywhere else, for those of you watching, look that way. Notice the leather patch on the side of the hat. That is a Meatgistics leather patch. And going forward on new orders, that will be on all Walton's hats. So you now have a way to show your Meatgistics pride while wearing a Walton's hat.
Yeah.
And on the very back, we're putting waltonsinc.com, or we're just doing waltons.com.
Just Waltons.
Because we bought waltons.com. So you don't have to type in those 3 extra letters anymore. We are saving you so much time. It is just waltons.com and gets you the same place, same great deals, same everything.
Yeah, sometime later this year, you guys will actually see it different. Right now, it forwards you. But later this year, we will actually be visible at waltons.com.
Yeah. So this wasn't the topic for this episode, and we will get to that, which is going to be our favorite Meatgistics posts from the last year. But since we're talking about waltons.com, waltonsinc.com, do we have a date in mind of when we're going to switch over to the new website? Further is fine, because there's still plenty of stuff to do to get it ready.
Originally, I was planning for sometime in the end of January, but it's probably going to be February now.
Okay.
Too many things have come up over the last few weeks since the first of the year that just haven't had time to finish up exactly what we need and want.
Yep.
And at this point, since we're past peak season, we're not really in a hurry. So it will be coming in the first quarter here, but it won't be the first month here. It'll probably be February.
All right. And some of the things that you guys will see that's a difference, you'll have some more ability to customize your account with some quick order stuff. Should make it a little bit easier. We also are going to have I feel like the drop-down menu is an improvement over, like right now, if you go to meat bags or like vacuum bags, there's one page and it scrolls way down because it has every size that's available. How we're planning on doing it is having one page with a drop-down that you just go to that size and then you can add it to your cart.
Yeah.
Then you can just select another size, add that to your cart. So I think it's a little bit simpler.
Yeah, on like the grouped products, like meat bags, much simpler. Filtering and searching for products like within categories and being able to look at specifically what you want there is a lot easier. I don't know how much you've played around with the filter and sorting sections.
Not much.
But there's a lot you can do in there.
Okay.
Overall, I think it simplified a number of things, but then we also added a bunch of customizable features to it.
Right.
So you can default out of the box. It's pretty simple, but there's a lot more you can do with it if you want. So,
and knowing us, will take advantage of every one of those features and then ask for some custom ones.
Yeah.
And
I think one of the other ones people like a lot is it's not really a wish list per se, but like a shopping list.
Yeah.
But it's multiple. You can create as many shopping lists as you want. You can name them different things. Yep. So you can organize, this is what I want. This is maybe a gift list that I need to share with my wife. Here's one for, this is my typical order come busy season when I'm starting to make meat products. Just all kinds of different stuff there.
But are we doing it where you can share that list somehow?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I don't remember seeing a button that says like share list, but whatever. We obviously have some more work to do. One of the things that shot us in the foot with that was since April on some items, I'd been holding off adding them to the website because it was right around the corner and I didn't want to do them twice. So there are a bunch of new items on the website right now, and there'll be a bunch more coming that have been held off for a while. They've been available for purchase. You just had to call in or go into the store. But yeah, Real quick, while we're on the topic of new items, the duck fat spray came in.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I mean, somewhat excited to use it. I don't want to give Colton any credit for this, so I think I'll just take it. I saw this item as a value add for us to carry. So I went out, did all the work, the research to figure out where we should get it from, and did it. So pat myself on the back there.
Good job, Jon.
Thank you. All right. Now, on to this podcast topics. These are going to be our top 10 2020 Meatgistics posts. So these are a combination of our favorite, the most impactful, and one of them on there just because I really liked it. You want to start? Want me to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
So I do think that the first one here is pretty easy to say it's number one. I don't think we're going to have any disagreement here, but it is the What Did Everyone Cook Today by Tech77. This one has just gone crazy. There's probably 2,500 posts on it already, and probably 15,000 plus views. And it's just an animal. It just keeps growing, and it's super cool. People just post kind of what they're cooking, what they're making, what they're eating. And I know we've talked about this before, but this is the one post that I can't look at when I'm anywhere close to hungry.
Yep. That, aside from the fact that I didn't create it, is probably my favorite post.
Yeah.
It just, every time I look at it, there's cool pictures. I mean, there's got to be a couple of 100 pictures of people's dinners on there. And most of them, I mean, guys aren't really just taking a picture of their average spaghetti dinner. There's some thought, some art that goes into this. And I only post something there if I'm fairly proud of it.
Yeah.
If I do a steak and it's not perfectly seared, that's not going on there. This is only for perfect meals as far as I'm concerned. But so definitely go and check that out on the Meatgistics podcast post. We will put links to all 10 of these. Number 2, or do you have anything else you want to talk about on that one?
I don't think so. I'm looking for something right now.
You want something specific?
Yes, but
do you want me to sing real quick while I could serenade our listeners? I'm sure people would listen on for that. Oh, by the way, last episode, I offered some tender jerky to anyone who emailed in. I still have 2 bags of that I can give out. So go ahead, email podcast@waltonsinc.com, and you can get a bag of this awesome jerky that we've made. We've been making tender jerky here now for a couple of years. And we'd kind of gotten just comfortable with it. We didn't make any changes to our process. And we're like, yeah, it's very good. But we made some changes, and we've absolutely nailed it. Our application specialist, I don't know where he got the idea. I think he's working with a commercial customer. They're trying to knock out the process, and we use that, and it's absolutely incredible. So coming out, there's going to be a couple of videos. One is going to be just the best tender jerky. In that, I'm going to use my vacuum tumbler. I'm going to use my marinator. And I'm going to use our commercial Smokehouse. Then I will do another one where I don't use a vacuum tumbler and I don't use our commercial or Smokehouse. I'll try to use only what you guys have at home. The one thing is I am using a vacuum sealer because just marinating that isn't going to get it done. So you found it.
I found what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So another reason in my mind that this is the top post of the year is because I found out that I have a doppelganger out there. There is a guy that I normally don't think people look like each other.
Right.
When people say, oh, he looks like so-and-so, I'm like, no, not at all. When I saw this picture, I was just like, holy crap, that is me. What happened?
Yeah. No, it's creepy. And I started G-Chart.
G-Chart.
And I started out just seeing it in his little, he put his photo on his icon or avatar.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking it was you. I'm like, that's Austin. Nope, that's not Austin. That's not Austin. So finally I said something about it, and he posted the full-size video or full-size picture. And yeah, it wasn't an optical illusion. This guy looks very similar to you.
Yeah, it's freaky.
So you don't know this yet, but there's a very good chance we're going to have him as a guest on an upcoming episode of the Meatgistics Podcast.
Oh, perfect.
It'll be a remote one, but he works in an industry that somewhat overlaps with ours, and it's one I'm pretty interested in.
Very cool.
So yeah, he's going to be on there. All right. So second best topic of 2020. And you know what? That one is number one. Everything else could be 1A as far as really I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Is the gardening, pickling, and canning. It has 380 individual posts and over 2,000 views. One of the best performing ones of 2020. And this one started in 2020. It's also something that's going to be useful to me going forward, because this upcoming summer, whether I'm in my house or hopefully I sell that house and get to move out to the country a little bit, I don't care what my HOA says, I am building a vegetable garden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I don't know, I guess this last summer I had already moved. I moved last January, February. But with everything that happened, my wife and I didn't plant a garden.
Yeah.
Versus we were living in the city before, and I don't know if we were supposed to have one or not. They said the HOA said no, but the way it read,
tall fence anyways.
it looked like maybe I'd get away with it, and so I said, "Screw it, I'm gonna do it." We had in town, we had a very large garden, and then we overplanted in it a lot. We had so much stuff coming out of it for several years that we couldn't eat it all. A lot of times we'd even forget or get lazy and not pick it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And after 2-3 days, then we're going out and throwing away a bunch of stuff.
And you can't do that where you are currently, because coyotes will come and steal your melons. And
oh no, there's ways around that. You just run hot wire fence around it.
Are you going to do that though?
Oh yeah.
With a 2-year-old? You're going to run a hot wire fence around?
Yeah. Well, I have a fenced in backyard that's just like a normal city lot size, and then I have like a couple acres in the back.
Gotcha. You have a couple acres?
I don't know, maybe like acre and a half to 2. The whole lot's like a little over 2.5 acres.
Okay.
So
does it shape weird in the back?
No.
Oh, it's just totally
rectangle. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
So this year I got approval, I think, from my wife to do a normal garden again. Okay. So now with that much room in the back, I think I'm going to get real crazy.
Awesome.
So I will hopefully be very active in the gardening post this up and coming year.
Cool.
We'll see. And hopefully be a little more on top of picking things. And then if I do that, I'll bring extras in here.
Well, your dad would complain about losing melons, and came in one day. He's like, yeah, the coyotes are stealing my melons. Yeah. And I thought it was like some weird joke that I didn't get, because I'd never realized that coyotes ate anything other than other animals. But yeah, apparently they're garden thieves on top of everything else.
Yeah. And he got that fixed. Me and my wife helped him out with his garden this year, since we didn't have one, because we still wanted stuff. So we're like, hey, if we help you, can we get stuff? Okay. So what he did is he has like just a little car battery thing hooked up to just a really small solar charger, but it's enough to keep it going. And he runs electric fence, like 3 different levels around it. But instead of just getting like some small podunky electric fence unit, he has something that it puts out a lot. I call it like a weed burner. A small electric fence. It won't burn through weeds. Yeah. This one, if something goes up and touches it, it will burn it. I actually found out the hard way that it is very, very strong, because one of the times my dad was out of town, it wasn't working. So I went out there to fix it, and I wasn't really sure if it was on or not. I thought I heard something click, because normally it clicks every couple seconds as it's going. And just being stupid, I reached my head and neck in to listen to see if I could hear, and I stuck my forehead right on the lead. So I got shocked while I was like squatting down. It threw me backwards and I like roll over on my back, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, my heart just stopped or something, but I was good, but it scared the living crap out of me.
That does not sound like fun. I will not be putting anything like that around my fence, because that would definitely happen to me. I'm fairly accident prone as it is. And 2, there's no way my dogs wouldn't run right into that thing and just then they'd be traumatized more than they already are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is an awesome post. We are also now, somewhat because of that, we're going to be on a gardening show. We're going to have what's it called? Garden Talk Radio. We're going to do some advertising with them.
Yeah.
See if we can build off that.
With Joey and Holly.
Yep. So that should be cool. All right. Number 3.
Color War. This one is fun. We get a lot of confusion on Meatgistics at times, I think, from people going, what the heck is this blue and orange thing going on? But Jon and I started this little feud, nothing crazy, but between who has the better hat and which is the nicer one, which are more people going to like, and this and that. He had a blue one, I had an orange one, and so we started groups on Meatgistics and trying to see who gets the most people on it, and that's where the color war topic came in, and it's just people going back and forth, kind of terrorizing the other group.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is
their love for it, and I have big news.
I know, I saw.
Okay, we are now ahead 193 to 191. The good guys are winning.
No,
that's important.
No, it's not the good guys. No,
but seriously, it's just a way to have some fun. Every time I log in and people have gone nuts on it, it makes me laugh. So
just remember one of the first posts I put on there. Never retreat, never surrender.
So you're ready to fight to the death on that.
With Leonidas from 300 on it.
Next one it's just called Snack Sticks with a question mark. This one was a great example of a Meatgistics user asking for some help, some input. And then one of the things in my mind that makes Meatgistics the community that it is now is you're going to get answers from people other than just Austin and I. We're obviously biased with some of our answers. I mean, I try not to be, but we are. I mean, it's just the way it's going to go. But we have both very experienced retail and we have a decent amount of commercial processors on our site. So some of the times when you're getting a response, you're getting a response from somebody who does this for a living. For example, Lemoore Scrappy jumped in on that one. I think Cabela's 90 jumped in on that one. We got to get him to change that name.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know why he did that.
And then people like T. Williams and Black Betty 61, just tons of good advice on there. There was a point about 7 or 8 months ago that I started to feel a little bit unneeded in the Meatgistics world because everybody was answering each other's questions before I got to them. So I was like, oh, I guess I don't need to be here. I've gotten over that insecurity and now I'm extremely secure.
Yeah. I would clarify a little bit on your biased thing. I would say you could say that we're biased on when we say to use a specific product at times, but not on our advice we give out on our processes. I think our processes are legit.
Okay, but we think the way we do it is best.
Well, I mean, we're not.
That's what I mean by bias. I don't mean like use this seasoning. I don't mean that. I mean, like we think the way that we do things is absolutely the right way to do it. That's why I try to, like when I'm telling somebody something that's different than what they've normally been doing, I always try to say at least, if you're happy with the results you're getting, just continue doing what you're doing. If you're looking for a different or maybe just a overall better result, then take our advice. But if you're happy with the way things are turning out, there's not a reason to change it.
Yeah. I mean, I would say what we tell people to do is 9 times out of 10 better than what they are doing or maybe were doing before. But there's always someone who does it better. Like we have some of our commercial customers out there that they do things a lot better than we do. But that's their job day in and day out and all they do. Like we have some that I won't use names, but one in particular that they make snack sticks for a national brand. Okay. You don't get more uniform and more perfect production than that if a national brand is going to have you make their
has to be
snack
spot
sticks.
on every time.
Yeah. So
Now,
what they do snack sticks to a level that we don't. But then that also comes down to what equipment and access you have. They have equipment that would put even our commercial test kitchen here to shame.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all relative.
That is going to be the biggest difference between what we're able to do using home equipment and what a commercial processor is able to do. It's not even necessarily the knowledge that definitely comes into it, the knowledge. But the equipment that they use is going to be the big difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we've got Joe Hell says, coronavirus really having an impact on business. And he just posted the fact that basically he was constantly running out of meat.
Yeah.
And then that led to an entire post of everyone sharing their experiences with coronavirus for the year. This was way back in like March, where we all thought this would be over in, 2 months. Here we are 8 months later and just getting over the busiest season we ever had. Doesn't appear as if things are going to go back to normal. And I don't mean from like a society standpoint. It will eventually get back to normal with that. I'm talking about our business.
Our industry. I think our industry is in a new normal.
Yep, I agree. People have broken the chain of just going to the grocery store and expecting the same old thing. They've either decided to go to meat packing places or they've decided to do something themselves at their home. They found that they liked that product better. So,
yeah.
All right. Next one is topics for Meatgistics live stream. This was created by me,
Jonathan.
So the reason this one is on there is because I really have enjoyed doing these Meatgistics live streams. We do it weekly Thursday at waltonsinc.com/live at 3 p.m. Central Time. It was something I told Austin I was thinking about doing it because all the people who have podcasts, who have anything that I listen to a lot, they have at least weekly content. Most of them have some sort of daily content. We can't do that. So we decided to try it weekly. I told him what it would require or what I would require to be happy with it to continue. And we easily hit that. A couple of them have gone way over that and been fairly successful. So we will definitely be continuing to do that. My fear is I'm going to run out of topics to talk about.
No, there'll always be something else.
The nice thing is, though, we get a lot of interaction with the audience. Tons of comments, tons of questions. So I think one of them, I only had like 20 minutes of stuff to talk about, but we ended up spending the entire hour because just people kept popping in with questions. Next one is Homemade Smokehouse. It was from Brian Schneider. Kicked it off talking about what he was doing, looking for some input, and lots of people posted lots of awesome pictures.
Yeah.
Snake River, is it Smoke River Farms? No, Snake River Smokers posted some unreal pics of his smoker. Just looked awesome. And then towards the end, we got a finished product from Brian, and it's awesome looking. It reminds me of what I would expect at like, what's his name? AK Dave to have.
Yeah.
Like it's a old school own small building, awesome little smoker.
Yeah. So. One of the things that kind of disappoints me about like stuff that we sell is smokehouses. We've never sold like that many of like the residential smaller smokehouses.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's what is one of the cool things about people out there about smokehouses is a lot of people don't buy them. They make them.
Yep.
And seeing what everybody has, I always think is cool. I'd love to sell more smokehouses, but It's just so interesting to see what people dream up and how they build theirs. And it's insane because it's one of those things that you can do on your own. You can't. Well, you can build your own grinder at home. I actually know someone who kind of built one. They basically took some old parts that they had and like rigged it up with a drill, and it was this nasty looking thing.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Sure. Dangerous.
Yeah,
of course.
But with a smokehouse, there's no reason you can't build a smokehouse.
Absolutely. But I would still say though, I think we sell a good amount of, if we're calling the PK 100, I'm always impressed by how many of those we've sold recently or in the last couple of years. Next is T. Williams had stressed out, and he was asking if anyone else gets stressed out while they're processing. Like, did I forget to add the cure? Did I, why isn't it coming up in temperature? What is going on?
Did I add 1,000 times too much sodium erythorbate?
Did I add 1,000? I think it was like 170 times. It was
okay.
1,000.
Still enough to kill someone.
No, it was probably 1,000. But that really just spoke deeply to me because that is a constant concern of mine. Like, oh no, did I do this right? Is this going to come out right? We're videotaping this. So it is a lot better now that I have somebody who records everything and does all the editing for me. When I used to have to stop what I was doing, go break down the camera, move it over here to get B-roll, it was way harder than it is now. And I think the quality of our video shows that it's gotten easier.
Yeah. Well, you've got Patrick now, and you have multiple cameras.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything gets easier as we go, for sure.
Absolutely. No pork fat was from Bobby Mack. He was asking for what you can do to replace pork fat because it's now hard to get. And that is one of the common themes, at least it was there for a while, for everybody. Pork fat was incredibly hard to find. They were shutting down some processing plants. They had a huge pig kill off just because they had nothing to do with them. So pork fat was hard to get there for a bit. I now have a lay down freezer with close to 80 pounds of pork fat in it. So
seriously,
I'm set for a while. But for people who can't get it, there are a couple of things you can do. Find another source of fat. You can use beef fat. It just doesn't have the same quality. Then last was Papa Sop, had a January meat run, and that just led to an awesome discussion about a bunch of different seasonings. And even though in his main picture,
he put a competitor's logo
in it. It's a not important piece of equipment, so we've determined that we will forgive him for that.
Honestly, yeah, it's the one thing that I probably don't really care about.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
So.
All right. So that's going to be it for us today, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to share and like. If you're listening on the Google Play Store, iTunes, something like that, leave a review. Really does help.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See ya.